Hi, everybody. Last week, one of you sent me a message, and in this message, you asked me to tell you a little bit about listening and how you could improve your listening skills. And I promised you to make a video on that. So, here is the video. Well, first of all, if you haven't watched the other videos of mine, I highly recommend you to watch them and to watch them carefully and several times in order to get what I have said in there, what expressions I have used. I've tried to make them very, very simple, and most of the time I even speak a little bit more slowly because I knew who my audience was. So let's start talking about listening skills, how you could improve, you could make your listening skills better. How could you listen better? Okay, first of all, I could say I believe that if you are going to be a good listener, you should want to be a good listener. What does it mean? I mean, even in one's language, I mean, if your native language, your mother tongue is, I don't know, Persian, or your mother tongue is Indian, your mother tongue is German, or whatever, even in your native language, you should learn how to listen effectively. What does it mean? It means that sometimes when other people are talking, we are not listening to them. We are not engaging ourselves in the process. That's why, at the same time that they are talking, we are thinking of what we want to say. And that's why we miss the point. So, this is very important. The other thing is practicing, practicing, and practicing. Please practice regularly. I mean, listen to different types of, I don't know, stuff, like, for instance, videos perhaps. You could listen to the news, you could watch and listen to cartoons, whatever you like. Advertisements could be really helpful. You could listen to podcasts. Fortunately, these days there are lots of them out there. So just take your time and do it. For instance, maybe you could start from 10 minutes a day and then just, make it more and more, like 15 minutes, 18 minutes, 20 minutes, or maybe only 10 minutes a day. That would be good. The other thing that I could say, and I have always told my students to do, is to live English. What does it mean? Live the language, not leave. I mean, live. Because you are going to use English in your real life. So you should just treat it as something real. What does it mean? Try to listen whenever these English words, come up. For instance, you are just in a beautiful place, I don't know, and that is a kind of, a tourism attraction, and some people are talking in English. Try to get involved. Try to listen to them. I know you're not supposed to listen to whatever they say, but at least you could get the gist of the matter, or you could sharpen your ears. Or, for instance, music. Music is one of the best ways to practice your listening. When you are listening to the music, listen to the music carefully. Ask yourself, what is it all in all? what words does a person use? What expressions did they use? And maybe you have to listen to, that piece of music several times and just sing along. Fortunately, again, these days you could find the texts very easily, but at the beginning, please don't do it. I mean, just listen and try to understand what they say. The other thing that I can say is that um, taking notes could be really helpful. Take notes. Listen, take notes. Listen and take notes. Taking notes has kind of, a strategy, and it's good to have the skills. Maybe in another video I show you what the skills are. Like you don't have to write the whole word, because otherwise you would miss, I don't know, the content. For instance, if you hear something, just write s point th instead, or someone s point o, or for example appropriate appr, something like that. Or you could at the beginning just pause, I don't know, your listening stuff, and listen to it, write it down, and again replay it. The other thing that could be good for you is to listen, repeat, and rephrase. For instance, if you really get what they say, then start just repeating them. Maybe for a friend, maybe for yourself, maybe in your mirror. That would be really helpful. And because you are encouraging yourself, to learn more and more this way. Using subtitles could be also helpful. Don't be afraid. I mean, sometimes it's good to use subtitles, but using subtitles means that you use the subtitle, again, you replay that part, and you see how they are talking. For example, if it is British English, and they just, you say that British English is like you have hot potato in your mouth. You have hot potato. Imagine I have a hot potato in my mouth, and it is like that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It is like that. It doesn't mean that I am making fun of, British speakers. No, as many of you know, I speak also with British accent. So, and also American accent, so I respect. But I mean, it is so. So you could just, listen carefully and see what they say, and then how they say that in the subtitle, and that would help you a lot. You can repeat it, and next time you wouldn't have any problem. For instance, let me tell you a story. I remember that many years ago, I had a group of teenage boys who were all Iranians, and I taught them English, but they needed British English. So, and all the time in the class, I just repeated, well, all of you. And when I said all of you, um, and I meant, okay, all of you, but many of them have thought that I say I love you. Or the other example is that I usually ask them, did you understand? Did you understand? Once one of the students came to me and say, Sheila, could I ask you a question? And I said, yeah, of course. And he said, what is Juja Anderson? And I said, what? Juja Anderson? And I asked the other students if they have also heard the same thing. And they just laughed and said, yes, we also always, we discuss this after the class, but we never came to you to ask. And then I said, okay, whenever I use this phrase, just let me know. And then I said, did you understand? And then suddenly one of them asked, yeah, this is Juja Anderson. And I said, no, this is not Juja Anderson. It is, did you understand? And did you understand? It is because when yeah and did you, yeah, like they and yeah, just, get together, you hear the sound of J, and these types of things happen a lot in English. So you see, if you see the subtitle, if you look at the subtitle and you listen carefully, then you could understand what happens. It's like, just exploring something. English learning is an adventure, I suppose. Okay, the other thing is vocabulary building. And remember, there are so many unfamiliar words and phrases that you really don't know. So you have to check the dictionary. You have to just, learn these words and then repeat them. Try to make sentences with them, and this way you will learn them. Otherwise, how come you could understand what they mean? And so it's not about listening, it's more about vocabulary. And yeah, and the other thing is that you could also use language apps these days. There are lots of language apps out there. You could just use them for your listening, and there are some listening exercises and quizzes that you could just take advantage of. So I hope this video could be helpful for you. And yeah, just enjoy yourself, be happy, and have a nice time. Goodbye.